Back to PrepperNow. Whoosh. I don't know how that became a thing. I don't even drink alcohol. I drink two things, folks. I drink coffee and I drink seltzer. That's it. That's all I drink. Seltzer water, so either water with bubbles or without, but you get the point. It's getting expensive because, water. I remember growing up, you just put the old glass under a tap and start drinking. Can't do that anymore. So, gotta pay for it. I remember I had this old manager, and he was talking about that. He's like, yeah, people are so stupid. Now we have to pay for water. It's like, I was growing up, we just took a cup to the tap, and now people have to pay for water. It's just getting terrible out there, he said. It is getting terrible out there. So, dynamic pricing. This is the new. How about nice words for all the price increases? Now they're calling it dynamic pricing. Yeah, it's called things are getting really friggin' expensive. That's what it is. Oh man. So yeah, they're based on our shopping habits. Another thing we need, AI and facial recognition for, so they can look at our face and go, hey, he likes Cocoa Puffs. So grocery shopping, expensive. Yep, we all know. But good news is that, as all the stuff went up with Joe, now that Kamala's in there, it's all going to go down. Everybody's like, totally ecstatic again because they see her as the remedy. Oh man, the gaslighting, the astroturfing is absolutely immense. We're going to get to that one here in a moment, but I do my usual. I got things all over the place. I'm going to talk about stuff, but I saw this one. I just had to pull it up. So yeah, cost food steadily rising. Food at home prices increasing by 5%, probably more. Takeout meals, 7.1. Concern for consumer stores are being accused of dynamic pricing, which could inflate the expense even more, especially during peak times. Whatchamacallit, fast food has talked about doing this. They talked about going in and, McDonald's are like, oh, it's, people don't usually buy Big Macs at 3:47 p.m. Let's knock it down by $1, right? Dynamic pricing. Oh, it's 12:32. This is Big Mac hour. Let's knock it up and make the $6-7 Big Mac, and yes, they're that much now, to $9. That's called dynamic pricing, which is just basically screwing you over because you chose to eat at a certain time today. So now, sent a letter to Rodney McMullen, chairman and CEO of Kroger. I used to enjoy shopping at Kroger. I don't like them anymore. They are the country's biggest supermarket chain. They expressed their concerns about AI technology, digital shelf labels, basically just going in and screwing people over for, what time they buy stuff. Politicians referenced a 2021 analysis by UCLA that found the adoption of time-based pricing leads to differentiated price competition. It can soften price competition, causing both peak hour and normal loss. So you guys heard about this? They're basically, whenever you buy something at what time of day, that is going to dictate how much you spend on it. So if it's lunchtime and you're buying something and they know you're hungry, they're going to raise the price. If it's 10:37 at night and they close at 11 and they know that, they're going into it's after the weekend, you get the point. They're gonna drop the price. So now people go in at certain times. I don't understand the mentality of it. I mean, price is the price, but I guess not anymore. Just another wonderful thing we get to look at. So yeah, dynamic pricing. 2,750 outlets in 35 states. The Kroger saying this is BS. But according to the letter, digital price tags enable Kroger and other grocery chains to transition. So there you have it. They can change the price. So if your grocery store is putting in electronic pricing and stuff, well, yeah. So let's see, where do I want to go from there? Yeah, we'll go over here. So if you're on the crisis report, if I'm crackling, please tell me. They were hitting a lot of channels today with some crackle. I don't know what it is, but basically all the channels, or a lot of them. I heard Batara, I heard Poplar, I heard Crisis Report. Oh wait, that's me. Yeah. The video, the noise or whatever, was crackling, the sound. So another thing you got to worry about now, of course, is as it says over there, we're in a big decision day. Either they're going to do some kind of a hostage deal ceasefire in Hamas, or there's going to be a big regional war. There's going to be a big regional war. So don't think that we're going to dodge a bullet or anything like that. First of all, they're not talking really to Iran. They're not talking to Hezbollah. They're not talking to Yemen. They're just talking to Hamas, and Hamas has, gotten the crap kicked out of it in, it's in Gaza. So, yeah, it is what it is. So this is a calm before the storm. They're worried about war breaking out, regional there. The thing in Russia with Kursk, that's a potential problem as well. Because basically the Ukrainians, they can't stop them in the Donetsk, so they're like, hey, let's go up north and take this little chunk of land. I mean, it literally be like taking Houston, and then Russia took Texas. I mean, it really is not that big apart. So it's fantasy football drafting night, so my friends are all texting everybody, and I don't engage in that. I just do it because it's my old friends from back home. Well, that's one league I've been in for 23 years. So back in the normie days. Anyway, this whole thing is going to possibly go out of control. We got all kinds of stuff. We got recession and everything else. Subway just put out a big warning. Home Depot is putting out a big warning. Consumers have been undergoing a deferral mindset. LL Flooring shutting down. Macy's closing store. I mean, it's bad. It really is. That's why it's so, the astroturfing on Kamala, I'm going to get there here in a moment, is absolutely legendary. I've never seen anything like it. I think at this point, too, I think if you look, like really, if you do a deep dive, she is not doing well. And the way they really want to, poll and see how things are going, look at new voter registration. That's the big deal. There's 1 million more Florida Republicans than there were 6-8 years ago. And it used to be 50-50. So there's a lot of telltale things out there that, of course, the mainstream media is not telling you about. But, as we joke about here, the pricing of everything is just nasty. And so it really, they can astroturf all they want, and they can sit there and jerk themselves off thinking they're going to put one over on people, but people are not stupid. They're seeing the dynamic pricing and all the inflation and everything else, and then you chuck on a war as well. Look at that. It's just, we're not doing well. We're not doing well. So, the inflation is supposedly going down, but yeah, it's not doing great. People are they're stopping. They're controlling the purse strings. They're not going out and blowing their wad like they were. And again, if you have a friend that's on the fence and they're like, oh yeah, I can't stand that guy, he talks too much. Just ask him, do you want to keep your job and do you want to be able to have things? Like, not even nice things, just stuff. It really is that. The campaign came out with their idea. They're like, hey, we're going to stop all this. I'm like, all right, great. What are you going to do? They went to Communism 101. They're going to do price controls. Do you have any idea how long of a crappy history price controls have? It's like what Venezuela does. It's what Cuba does. It's what China does. So, it's I mean, of all the things, it is literally the dumbest thing that they could do. And you know, an idiot would have to believe, oh, a price control is going to work. So, we all know energy prices have been you know, pretty steady for now, but not great. All it's going to take is a nice war in the Middle East, and that whole thing is going to go sideways. Iran and Israel at some point are going to get into it. I think so. And, you know, they're sitting there like, oh, they're talking, there's going to be a ceasefire. Well, of course, to the average butthead, they're like, oh, great, everything's going to be done. No, that's Hamas. It's Gaza. It's not Hezbollah in Lebanon. They were chucking a crap load of missiles tonight as well. So this whole thing is possibly going to get nasty. And then you take on the whole Russia thing. I mean, if they keep going in Kursk, Russia is going to drop the hammer in some way. So all this is going to affect stuff. Of course, both areas really do affect oil and all that. They were still putting out warnings tonight about Iran doing a response. Meanwhile, they've got these talks going on in Qatar. We'll just have to see. Yeah. So, Kamal's the best ever, right? No. 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 The Ganda is hard, folks. He said that today. I was listening to Marfugel, and he calls it Ganda because he's got all these words that they don't say and stuff. I'm like, whatever at this point, really. And he calls it the Ganda, you know. So proper, of course. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on. The polling is really oversampling Democrats. When you look at the voter registration, the Republicans are crushing the Democrats. The swing state polls, they're keeping them close, but they really are not going well for Kamala. And also, you know, Trump, because they do all this crap, his numbers are 5% more. At this point in 16 and in 20, Trump was down by 7% in both. And he won in 16, and he barely lost in 20, realistically. So they're doing this thing called astroturfing. What is astroturfing? Astroturfing is when they go out and they take all the polls and they take all the sentiment and they make AI photos and they do all this stuff to make you think that the grass is green. But when you take back that astroturf and you look under, the grass is dying. It's nasty. It's not going real well. Okay? So they go in and they're doing the polling data in perspective. Real Clear Politics average polls currently gives Harris a 0.9% lead, notably in both 16 and 20. Donald overcame that because he was, you know, they don't want him in office, so they do everything they can to wag the dog. Because, you know, some idiots out there are going to like, oh, he's losing, what's the point? I don't need to go vote. I don't need to do this. Or, you know, I just follow the crowd. I'm going to go vote for Kamala. All polls are equal, but some polls are more equal than others. So, yeah, the whole thing is being astroturfed, and it's really kind of... I've never seen it like this. It's kind of bad, and not in a good way. It's a bad. GOP contender has an advantage of roughly 2.8%. Another way to consider the data is only to count polls that use likely voters, determined to be an overall more accurate measurement than registered voters, because a lot of people are registered but they don't vote. If you're a likely voter, that means you take the time out of the day to go do it. So polls are indicators, but yeah, it's if you look at all the numbers and everything else, it's closer than it should be, but it's still not great for Kamala. So of course the keys are Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. She really screwed up by not taking Josh Shapiro. She did, but it is what it is. And yeah, so that whole thing is not good. And Trump will we'll just have to see. He's just got to, as I put in advice on my super secret channel, he's just got to like keep things under control. Don't go up there and talk for hours on end. You know, get other people involved. Get other people to talk. Go up there, do a half hour in front of a crowd, and move on. I mean, it's just, I don't know. When you do pressers and stuff like that, you know, he'll say something 3 and 4 times, and this is all out of love. This is because I want him to win. And this is from a political science point of view, okay? He just needs to make his main points. He needs to hammer 2 things. He needs to hammer the economy. He needs to hammer the new neighbors. And the economic impact it's going to have, and the impact it's going to have on things like unemployment for the African American community. If he does that stuff, he will do well. And if he does it succinctly, go up there and make your case and then stop. Nobody wants, there's not a person on the planet I want to hear talk for an hour. No one. Literally. So I just, you know, he's got to rein that in. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Right? I forget what I called this thing. I'm sorry, I know I put the nebulous titles in now, but that's kind of what YouTube wants you to do. But, you know, it is what it is. Because they want people that are looking around going, ooh, what's that? So, I saw this one. And this is the Canadian government is warning the country to prepare for a new something or other worse than Rona. Now, I had the pleasure. Oh, there he is. There he is. Everybody's favorite D-bag. I had the pleasure of going to a lovely grocery store in Ontario. Yes, because I was in Ottawa. And prices were elevated there compared to America, so that's a problem. But what Mr. Trudeau is saying is basically, what's that little pop-up? Okay. They're getting worried and they're concerned about a new Rona, something like that, right? And the thing that's a little bit different about this one, I'm going to put his head away, I don't like him. The thing that's a little different about this one is the fact that they said this is going to cause supply chain snarls and other issues. Okay? Good Lord. Too many ads. There he is. There's your buddy. I like him with his hair this way, I got to admit. The longer hair, I don't know, looks a little D-baggy. But Canada's Prime Minister speaks to media about... well, that's about a camp, sorry. Is there an article here or what? Okay, here we go. This is weird. I've never seen it. This is why. What site is this? Oh, it's the Daily Mail. Okay, so Daily Mail sucks. Sorry. Canadian government issued. Good Lord, how many ads? Canadian government has issued advice warning citizens to prepare for a hypothetical new virus that could lead to food and fuel disruptions. Center for Occupational Health and Safety rolled out a second edition of their flu and infectious disease outbreak business continuity plan handbook. I'm going to go to Mask Woman. They do like their masks up there. There's more mask wearers up there than I've seen in other places in America. But I digress. So that's what I find about that interesting, is that they said there's going to be food and fuel disruptions. So how do they know that? You know, it's a virus. It's sickness thing. We've already been through one this decade. How do they know that? How do they know that it's going to make it so you're a little bit more dependent on .gov? I don't know. Interesting. So, of course, people are joking. They're saying, this is going to be the election variant and all that kind of stuff. So, it is what it is. But there was a major thing done today. And let's get off this mask stuff. Well, this is probably taken last week. This lady probably walks everywhere with her mask on. So, you do you, girl. So, yesterday, the Tedros and his buddies came out and said Mpox, that's what they're calling it, because they don't want to be, insensitive to our animal kingdom. They said that the Mpox is going to become a problem, and it's already a problem in Africa. And then, lo and behold, today, Mpox has arrived in Europe, in Sweden. They've confirmed their first case of a more grave variant outside Africa. Ooh, okay, tell us more. Well, this thing, if you've had chicken pox, I've had them, forms little lesions on the skin and all that. Well, this one is a little bit more intense with what it does. So Sweden confirmed its first case, a more contagious variant. It spreads through close contact, marking the first time it has been found outside of Africa. So that's a problem. It's in Sweden. Evidently, if you stick your dingus in strange places in Africa or elsewhere, and they have this stuff, then the dingus will give the Mpox to other people. Okay? Now, there was a certain community that this happened to in 2022. They're, they're kind of a protected nature, so thankfully that one got under control. But the spread and the way it spread from them spreading, it was kind of a bad luck. So that one went away. And good that it did. But now it's coming back again, just in time for fall 2024. So they reported the emergence of a new form of the deadlier form of Mpox. It can kill up to 10%. Now, if you remember, Rona was what? 1% roughly? Something like that, if I remember correctly. And of course, that was the initial version back before we knew what the heck we were doing. And Congolese mining town warned that it might spread more easily. Mpox mostly spreads via close contact with infected people, included through love. Okay? Mpox is love-based. WHO said there have been more than 14,000 cases and 524 deaths in more than a dozen countries across Africa this year. So this is a bit of a problem. Here we go. Borg, I've got like 6 more minutes because I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. I just want to cover this stuff. Everybody else is covering it, okay? If you could just yield for 5.5 minutes, that'd be great. So, all of it, or almost all of it's been in the Congo, but now, of course, it is spreading, so that's a problem. Another thing to consider with this as a prepper is the fact that your medications have really been constrained. So to go back to what the fantastic Trudeau said is, hey, what's up, Romy Prepper? Good to see you, brother. To go back to what Trudeau said, I mean, this could cause some constraints on things like medication. It could cause constraints on other stuff. So I just find it strange that Trudeau came out and said, hey, gas and fuel and food could be problematic if there is a new something that comes. And then now, here we are, 48 hours, 24 hours later, Mpox is now starting to spread. It's going all over the place. And from what I understand, there is an intervention that is being created post-haste in quick form for those that want to, put that into them. Me, I'm happily married. I'm not out there, swinging the thing to anything that moves. So I'm probably going to forego this round. Just saying. Kind of not into, it's the recovering alcoholic in me. I don't really like to put new substances in me. Like I said, I drink only coffee and seltzer. That's really, and water, just water with or without bubbles and coffee. That's basically what I drink. Food, I'm not too super adventurous. I do like some sushi and stuff like that. But as it goes to just trying out new things in the medical field, not really into that. So, and again, I'm not out there, going to discos and it's not the whatever the club's name in New York in the 70s that spread all the stuff and all the blow was rolling through. Yeah, I'm not a Studio 54. That's what it was. Yeah, I'm not a Studio 54 attendee or the modern version thereof. So what I would be if I were you is cognizant of all these things being on the horizon. Okay. I would have maybe some PPE, if you remember that term. So some protective equipment, personal protective equipment. I think that's what it stands for. Probably not. Probably mess that up. I don't know what the face thing's going to do, but this one seems more glove-based. Medications, might want to get some of those. There's some great companies out there that provide options. JASE is one. I think I do have a link in the description if you want to go there. So yeah. Mamacita, thank you for putting the crisis report. So I think this is going to become more of a developing story and everything. And then check this out. You take that and then you add it to the flu. That's definitely going to comes every fall, every winter. Rona is, from what my wife has told me, is making a pretty major surge right now. She's seen a lot of it. It's what she does for a living. And then, you tack on the Mpox, and you've got a recipe for voting. Sorry, I was trying to think of a great way to say that, but we're just gonna call it that. Yeah, you should go vote. But yeah, this could curtail people's plans in the fall, whatever they may be, and you might want to be prepared for it. So let's go back. Let's go back and talk about stuff. Inflation has now caused dynamic pricing, so make sure that you're buying stuff at strange hours. Okay. Inflation is now leading to pressures in the Middle East and in Russia, which could affect us on a war type thing. So that could put constraints onto our supply chain. If you guys remember your history, their Meatless Mondays was something that came from World War. Mr. Trudizzle, there he is. I don't know how you say fugly in French Canadian. They're saying that you should get ready for fuel and food disruptions. So prepping food is always a wise idea. Sweden, right here. They've seen their first encounter with the Mpox, and so they're gearing up. You've got new things coming that might try to intervene and stop that. You've got medicines you might want to have, because if they're saying that food is going to be short, maybe medicines will be short too. I don't know what you'd want to have on hand for the Mpox, but I'm sure our trusted health officials will tell us all about it. But fear not, folks. they're gonna get the savior in. Her name is Kamala, and she's great. She's the best candidate ever, and everybody's voting for her, evidently. Okay, so I guess people are registering as Republicans, but they're going to vote Democrat. Cool. Strange that. But yeah, those are some things that we should take into consideration. And you should be prepping. You should be getting food. You should be getting medication and PPE and making sure you have a way to maybe have a little bit of fuel on hand. I've tested that this year. PRI is a great way to safely keep your fuel ready for years. Not more than 2, though, but mine is stretched for 2.5 years, so PRI has done the work. Now, I haven't been driving on it, but it's been running my lawnmower just fine. So, yeah. So, you know, prepping is a smart thing. Prepping's a good thing. And you should vote. You should vote your conscience. If you're into Kamala, you know, no, I don't like her, but I'm allowed to say that. Just as you're allowed to say, you know what, I think she's great. I think she's going to make a great president, and that's fine. That's okay. So there you have it, folks. Okay, a lot of things on the horizon that are potentially going to be bad. From new viruses to shortages and fuel issues and things from that. Yeah, you know, nice war flaring in Middle East and Eastern Europe. And then, of course, the M-Pox coming on into the picture very dramatically. And now it's breached Europe, and it's moving. So you should be into that. Kevin Grip, thank you so much, man. You're too kind, dude. Kevin Grip's the best. He's like the super PrepperNow sub. Thanks, buddy. Well, I've got links in the description if you're into all that. Tomorrow I'll probably be doing things in the background for my members, $2 a month, if you want to support the cause. Because there is these big talks going on in Doha, Qatar. And supposedly we're either going to see a regional war or we're going to see a ceasefire. But again, don't get your hopes up because it's just with Hamas. It's not with Hezbollah in Iran proper. So, very important that you guys know what's going on. That's why the crisis report is great for that. That's why PrepperNow is good for that. I want to keep you informed, you know. And I'm not going to any crazy places. I'm just getting things, you know. This is Liberty Nation. This is, you know, The Guardian. And then I got the Daily Mail. And then we got the Daily Doom. I like that name, Daily Doom. Yeah. So there you go. I feel better. I don't know about you. I do. I'm in a strange mood tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm looking forward to going to bed and getting a good night's sleep and waking up tomorrow. And Gene, thank you for putting the support in the channel. There are many ways to support. One guy came on and said, hey, I listen to everything. You know, I'm not able to support you financially, but I'm here. That's awesome. That's great. He said he hasn't missed a video on any of my channels in 2 years. You want to talk about a heck of a compliment. Thank you, buddy. So, maybe you're a cool kid like him. Maybe you don't got time for that and you're not doing the things and you just kind of get here whenever you can. I promise to stay solid and give good information and providing a little wit and humor as well in between to kind of keep things nice and spicy. So, friends, we're going to call it on that one. I appreciate you. God bless you all. You know what to do. Hit the buttons and stuff. Leave a comment. Leave a like. You know, subscribe if you're new here. But yeah, we're gonna tap out and make sure you're prepping, getting the food, getting the health and everything else. And you know, just get ready. It's an uncertain future is probably going to happen in some way. And being a prepper is a great way to counteract that. So God bless you all. See you on the next one.